All right, so we're going to do a little review here today. This is Wednesday, Flex Wednesday. Get this out of the way. There you go. So these are some of the things that we have covered. Actually, it's not just December 7th, but the week before that, where you had an article to read on that Thursday, I think December 3rd. So, had we been in class when we read this article, we would have, done this graphic organizer together. So I thought that it would be a great, way to review. So we have the events in the middle, Renaissance. And one cause of the Renaissance was this humanism that we've been talking about. So the pull away from the church running your lives and the church being in total control to humans. Humans having value, humans are good, humans can impact the world. And so this theory, this lean towards humanism helped start the Renaissance. And effects of humanism and the Renaissance is that we saw in that unit too that art changed from being very religious focused to being focused on real life, and being 3D, and we can see facial expressions. It looks like movement. So we can see muscles. So very realistic. And this also paved the way for the scientific revolution, because as we've seen over the last week and a half, science really does focus on humans being able to understand the world using logic and reason. So this humanism helped with the Renaissance, and the Renaissance paved the way for the scientific revolution. Okay, so we have the study of Greek and Romans. So Enlightenment scholars like Galileo, Copernicus, Kepler, and then Hobbes, Locke, Montesquieu, those that we looked at Monday and Tuesday, they start thinking, due to humanism and the study of science, reasoning, and enlightenment, they start thinking, hey, maybe people should rule themselves. So this leads to them studying Greek and Roman books and authors. And the effects of this is a change in government from monarchies to democracies and the republics that we see today. Okay. And then another big event of this time period is the scientific revolution. We are seeing that scientists began using observation and reason to understand the natural world. They start using the scientific method, those steps of question, hypothesis, experiment, draw conclusions, and communicate. I think I got them all right. And then the effects of the scientific revolution are these discoveries of the law of nature, like gravity, the speed of sound, your Pythagorean theorem, which you'll learn about in math, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So they start using logic and reason to understand natural events of the world. Okay. We also would have these notes. All right, so how did the Renaissance specifically lead to the scientific revolution? Well, the scientific revolution was a new way of thinking. It was based on observations and being willing to challenge accepted beliefs. So that being willing to challenge the church, the Catholic Church, because we have learned that the Catholic Church will put you in jail, will charge you with heresy, saying that you were basically being a false teacher by using science, and you could spend the rest of your life in house arrest like Galileo did. The age of exploration and the inventions of that time helped people see that old beliefs about the world, like it was flat, were false. People started to question what other theories might be false, might be untrue. So the age of exploration also helps with the scientific revolution, because they start to see there's other lands out there, there's other people out there, and the world is round. They use the stars to navigate, and the position of the moon and the sun. So all of that starts to help with the scientific revolution. And all of that came about because of the Renaissance and Reformation. So we have a scientist, last name of Copernicus, and he developed the heliocentric point of view about the universe, saying that the sun is the center of the universe and the earth rotates on an axis, creating night and day. And this, of course, went against the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church was teaching that the earth was the center of the universe because God made the earth, and so it must be the center. Kepler, he backed up Copernicus' theory of heliocentrism, and then he also studied the planets and learned that they rotate in elliptical or oval orbits, like egg shape. And he, as I said, he backed up Copernicus's theories with his study. Then we looked at Galileo a lot. He used the telescope to study planets. He could see the moons and spots on the sun and the rough surface of the moon. So this went against the church's teaching that everything was perfect and pure because that's the way God made it. He did discover the laws of motions through his study. His findings worried, upset the leaders of the church. And we learned that they did imprison him. They threatened to excommunicate him, to kick him out of the church. So he took back. He recanted his theories. Like Copernicus didn't want to publish his because these people, they were religious. They still did believe in the Bible, and they did not want to be kicked out of the church because then that's what they feared. They feared being made fun of, and they feared being persecuted or attacked because of their new beliefs through science. So, and then we know that the church imprisoned Galileo, put him on house arrest. He could not leave his home up until the day he died. We have Sir Isaac Newton, who then also studied nature, and he gave us the law of universal gravitation, where every object in the universe attracts every other object. We learned that, as I've already said before, the church's reaction to these scientists was to call them false teachers, to charge them with heresy, to kick them out of the church, persecute them, put them on trial, put them in prison. So the church was not ready, the Catholic Church was not ready for these changes because it really challenged their authority. Now, the Church of England started to grow and develop, and they were more tolerant of science and the scientific way of looking at the world, and felt they could blend that with the Bible and worship. So just a little review for today. You will send me an email telling me something that I told you in this video, because tomorrow you will have a short check-in about the unit. All right.